They would find a frozen corpse and collect the insurance. In the morning, the door opened and Michael entered the bar shivering. In the winter of 1933, in the heart of the Great Depression in New York City, there was a small, dark bar where 5 human monsters sat around a single table, planning the strangest murder in history. These 5 didn't want to kill a minister or a millionaire. No, their target was Michael Malloy. Michael was a poor, homeless man with no one in the world. All he did with his life was drink alcohol until he lost consciousness. This gang thought with venomous brains. They decided to take out 3 insurance policies on Michael's life for staggering amounts of money, then kill him and split the cash among themselves. They thought the matter would be a soft snack that would be over in 2 nights. They had no idea they were about to meet a man whom the devil himself didn't know how to kill, the man who was later called Iron Mike. To take out the insurance policies without Michael knowing, because if he knew he would have refused or demanded money, they brought in a member of the gang who slightly resembled Michael. He went to the insurance company, impersonated him, and presented forged documents proving he was a worker with a steady income, so the company would agree to insure him for large sums. The gang began the plan with suspicious generosity. They opened an open tab for Michael at the bar and told him, "Drink whatever you want, Michael, it's on us." Their intention was for him to drink until his liver exploded and he died a natural death. But Michael was a machine. He drank quantities that would make an elephant dizzy, and at the end of the evening he would adjust his hat, thank them, and walk out on his own 2 feet as if nothing had happened. The gang began to worry. The money they were supposed to collect was starting to disappear on drinks for the Michael who wouldn't die. They said, "No, this won't work. Let's turn up the dose a bit." They started putting wood alcohol, methanol, in his glass, a deadly poison. 1 gulp of it blinds and kills. Michael drank it, wiped his mouth, and asked for another one. The gang went crazy. They started putting rat poison in his drink, chemicals used for cleaning horses, and even diluted acid. Imagine Michael was drinking all this poison, sleeping for a bit, and waking up in the morning telling them, "This drink tastes good, but it's a bit spicy. Bless your hands." When the poison failed, they moved to the dirty phase, food. They made him a booby-trapped sandwich. They brought rotten sardines and mixed in rusty nails, crushed broken glass, and iron filings. They sat watching him as he ate the sandwich, waiting for his stomach to be shredded and for him to die in front of them. Michael finished the sandwich, asked for another one, and told them, "These sardines are a bit too salty, but they really work up an appetite." Here, terror began to creep into the gang's hearts. They started to wonder, is this man a human being like us or a demon? On one of those winter nights when the temperature dropped to 26 degrees below zero, Michael got drunk and collapsed. The gang said, "That's it, this is our chance." They stripped off all his clothes, dragged him to a public park, dumped 20 liters of ice water on his bare chest, and left him in the middle of a snowstorm and walked away. They said in the morning they would find a frozen corpse and collect the insurance. In the morning, the door opened and Michael entered the bar shivering a bit and saying, "Folks, it's a bit chilly outside these days. Pour me a glass to let me warm up." The frustration of the gang turned into hysteria. They went and hired a taxi driver and gave him a sum of money to run him over. The driver waited for him while he was walking drunk, hit him with the taxi at a speed of 80 kilometers an hour, ran over his body with the wheels, and fled. The gang sat waiting for the news of his death in the newspapers, and Michael disappeared for 3 weeks. Just as they were opening the champagne to celebrate, the door opened. Michael walked in with a cast and leaning on a crutch and told them quite calmly, "Sorry guys, a taxi hit me and I stayed in the hospital for a bit. Pour me my whiskey, I missed you." Finally, in February 1933, the gang's nerves were shot. They waited until he lost consciousness, brought a gas hose, put it in his mouth, and turned on the valve for a full hour until his lungs were saturated with gas. One of the 5 gang members was named Frank Pasqua, and he was a funeral home owner. His presence was the key to the game, because he was the one who forged the papers and the death certificate and informed the insurance company that the death was natural due to acute lobar pneumonia. This made the company not suspicious at first because the report came from an official source with a reputation. They took the insurance money, but greed diminishes what is gathered. They sat talking and showing off the story of the man who doesn't die until the talk reached the police. The police became suspicious, exhumed the body, and the forensic doctor uncovered the truth. The entire gang was caught, and 4 of them were sentenced to death by the electric chair. They died just to kill a man they tried to kill 20 times and failed. Michael Malloy died, but he remained a legend in history of crime, the man who broke all the laws of nature and exhausted the gang's souls before they could take his. These are the pictures of the 4 killers who were sentenced to death, and these are the pictures of the bar that was a witness to the crime. And of course, I couldn't put a picture of Mike himself because the only photo of him is after he died and they exhumed him to examine him. Subscribe to the channel to discover more videos.